Hi everybody, this is Norm from the Board Game Museum, and today I'm going to be reviewing the King of Tokyo Monster Box along with King of Tokyo's origin and their expansions. Now the King of Tokyo series has been around for a while, and the object of the game is twofold. A, you're going to be trying to take out your opponents, or alternatively, you're going to be trying to get 20 health points. So let's check it out. So in this game, you've got two ways that you're going to be able to win. The first way you can win is you can try to get your monster up to 20 victory points, or try to knock all of the monsters down to 0 health points. Now, there are 4 monsters that come in the game, and here is a picture of all of them. And you'll note on the boards here, you've got victory points, and this thing goes all the way up to 20, which is what you're trying to gain. And then you also have the health here, and you're going to start with 10 health. And right over here is Tokyo, and at some point in the game, a monster is going to end up entering Tokyo over here, and this is going to give him some advantages. When a monster enters Tokyo, he's going to immediately gain 1 victory point, so he would just do something like this. And on his next turn, if he is still in Tokyo, he's going to gain 2 points for every turn that he is in Tokyo. However, he will not be able to heal himself, which is what these heart symbols are for, unless he has a power card that will allow him to do that, which are these things and this over here. Along with this, you have 6 dice, and what you're going to do is you're going to roll these dice, and you're going to go ahead and set some dice aside that you want to keep, and you're going to get 3 rolls. So if I wanted to keep these 2, I could roll these 4, and then roll again. Let's say I want to keep that. Let's say I roll again, and I ended up keeping this. So these symbols are energy cubes, and now I've rolled 4 energy cubes, so I'm going to get 4 of these green cubes here, and these cubes are going to allow me to help buy these cards that are over here. And there's several different types of cards that you're going to be able to buy. They're going to have different effects and abilities. Like, for example, this one says when you lose any hearts, you may spend 1 energy to reduce the loss by 1. Now, some of these cards are going to be cards that you can keep in front of you, like this one, so this is going to last throughout the game. Or you can end up getting a card that says discard, which is a card that once you get it, you're going to have to play immediately. The advantage to being outside of Tokyo is that you will be able to heal yourself. The numbers are going to signify victory points. If you're able to get 3 of a kind like this, in this case, you would end up getting 3 victory points. This is health. This is going to allow you to heal, so if I was down to, say, 7, I could go ahead and move up to 8. And then over here, these are going to be attacks. So any monster that is in Tokyo, if he rolls these, he will be able to attack every monster that is surrounding him. So each monster in this case would take 2 hits. Any monster that is outside of Tokyo is going to be trying to hit the monster that is in Tokyo. So he will be doing that individually. Now the biggest difference is that the monster that is in Tokyo will not be able to use any of the hearts to heal himself. He's mainly going to be in Tokyo to try to get victory points. He will be able to heal himself if he has a card that will allow him to do that, but that's the only way he'll be able to do it. Now, if a monster ends up taking a hit, let's say Gigarex here rolled a hit and assigned it to him, this monster here will have a choice. He can yield Tokyo, which means he can go ahead and leave, and he'd want to do that if he was ending up running a low on health and he was just getting hammered. He could go ahead and yield Tokyo and leave it open for another monster to eventually get into. So the way the order is going to work here is everyone's going to go ahead and roll, and whoever rolls the most amount of these is going to start. And let's say I'm this dinosaur here. Now these are not going to count in the beginning because there's no monster in here. So let's just say I decide I'm going to get this. I'll roll again. Let's say I decide I'm going to keep this. I'll roll again, and let's say I decide to keep this. Now the second step is going to be to resolve all the dice. So I'm going to end up getting 3 energy cubes here. There's no one in Tokyo to hit him, then I did not get a 3 of a kind, which this, if I had, this would have given me 1 victory point. Third step is going to be, I will have the opportunity to enter Tokyo if I would like to. There's nobody in there, so let's say I decide I'm going to put my monster in there. The next thing I can do is try to buy a power card. So I can get this power card right over here. This, let's just say I decide I'm going to go ahead and get it. And this says, when you roll at least 222 or more, add 2 hits to your roll. So I would put this card in front of me like this and then replace it with another card. So essentially what this means, if I roll a 222 or a 333, I can add 2 hits to my roll. So in this case, this hit would end up becoming 2 more hit to whoever's there. Finally, I'll be able to activate any effects from cards that I happen to have down here. Some of these cards are going to activate at the very end. So you'll go ahead and do that, and then it will go to the next player. Now, since I entered, I'm going to go ahead and get 1 victory point here. And so now Mechmaster is up. So let's say he rolls. Let's say he decides he's going to keep that and keep these. And he'll roll again. He'll roll a third time. Okay. So he ended up scoring 2 hits on me. So we're going to resolve the dice. I'm going to end up taking 2 hits. So I'll be down at 8. And then he'll go ahead and go to the next step. I have a choice as to whether or not I want to yield Tokyo or not, and I'm going to say no. When it goes back to me, since I'm in Tokyo, I'm going to go ahead and gain 2 victory points, and then we'll go ahead and repeat the entire process. The game is going to end once one of the monsters ends up reaching 20 victory points, or all the monsters except for one end up reaching 0 health. Okay, so now we move on to the King of Tokyo monster box. First thing you're going to see is you're going to have the King of Tokyo board, and you're also going to get this dice tray over here. You're going to get your standard dice here. These come with the Halloween expansion, so you can use these dice when you're playing the Halloween expansion. They're the same as these. And then these dice are going to be used for certain power cards. You're going to be getting a whole bunch of new power cards over here. These are all the characters that come with the Monster Box edition of the game. And here's a look at all of the characters' standees. One big happy family. You're also going to be receiving a number of these tokens that come with the game, and these tokens are going to be used with specific power cards or evolution cards. And here is a list of all the different tokens that come with the game. So one of the additions that comes with the Monsters box is what are called evolution cards. Now each monster is going to be receiving 8 evolution cards that they're going to be able to use in the game. And let's just say I decide I'm going to use the Kraken over here. So what you'll do is you'll shuffle all these cards. You're going to draw 2 of them, and you're going to go ahead and look what you have. Keep 1 and then put the other one back into the deck. Now you'll be able to play these cards in front of you, and there are 2 types of evolution cards. You have temporary evolution cards, which are going to be cards that you're going to play 1 time. And then you also have permanent evolution cards, which are cards that are going to stay in front of you throughout the game. Now, anytime during your roll, if you keep 3 of these hearts over here, you'll be able to heal, but you'll also be able to go ahead and draw 2 more cards like you did in the beginning, keep 1 and discard the other. Now, there are certain cards called gift evolution cards, which are cards that you're going to play on your opponent. You would just go ahead and give him the gift evolution card, and he's going to place that card in front of him, and that card is going to be a permanent effect on him. You're also going to get the Halloween expansion, which are going to basically be costume cards, and these are cards that you're going to be placing in front of you, which are going to have specific abilities. Of course, you'll have the Halloween dice that you can use if you would like to. In the very beginning, you're going to draw 2 and keep 1. The rest you're going to go ahead and shuffle into your King of Tokyo deck over here. And with these cards, you can play them in front of you, and this would be a devil card, for example. This one says during your turn, when you make another monster lose a heart. So they're going to have abilities on here. Now, if you end up keeping these 3 symbols over here when you roll your dice, you're going to be able to go ahead and steal a card and put it in front of you. Now, you can play as many of these cards in front of you as you can get, like so, and each time you're going to go ahead and have these different abilities. And over here are the 3 expansion characters that I will be reviewing for this game. You've got Sabertooth, Anubis, and King Kong. Now with Sabertooth, you're going to receive the Berzerk die. The way the Berzerk die works is if during your roll you decide to keep 3 of these attacks over here, you're going to have access to this die. What you're going to do is you're going to take one of these Berzerk tokens and you're going to place it here on your character. And as long as that is on there, you're going to be able to roll the Berzerk die on your turn with all of the other dice. So the different symbols are going to have energy here. This will give you 2 energy. This will give you 1 attack, 2 attacks. This is going to remove a heart from your character if you are playing the Tokyo version. Now, whenever you decide to heal yourself, you're going to go ahead and remove this token, and then you will not be able to roll the Berzerk die again until you get this token back onto your character. So if you are playing with Anubis, you will have the option of using this expansion. This is going to give you what is called the Die of Fate, and is also going to have curse cards on here. Now, these cards are going to be set out, and they're going to be conditions that are going to be used for the whole game for the player whose turn it is. So you're going to go ahead and shuffle them and put one out here, and then this is going to tell you what the effect is. It says cards cost 2 extra energy, and then whoever's turn it is going to go ahead and roll the die, and whichever symbol shows up on the top will be the effect. Since I rolled this symbol, I will get to draw a power card. If I roll the snake, I will have to discard a keep card. Now there's also the scarab card over here that the player who goes last is going to start with. whoever has this card, this is going to affect certain cards that are going to be coming up. Now here are the different symbols. The eyeball over here, this is going to allow you to just simply change the curse to another one like so. This symbol here, this is not going to have any effect. The snake, you will just simply follow what this part says here, and then the ankh over here, you'll follow what this symbol says. Now you can roll this die as many times as you're rolling your other dice, and you will just go ahead and take the symbol that you rolled. Now with the King Kong expansion pack, you're going to be receiving two 3-piece buildings. You're going to have the Tokyo Tower and then the Empire State Building that you'll be able to play with the Kings of New York. And the way this works is you're going to be trying to get all 3 of the pieces of whichever building you're playing with, and if you're able to do that, you're going to win the game automatically. And the way you're going to do this is if during your turn you manage to keep 4 ones over here, you're going to go ahead and get the bottom one. And if you're able to get another 4 ones, you're going to go ahead and get the middle one, etc. Now, if another player ends up rolling the 4 ones and you happen to have 2 of the pieces, that person's going to take the bottom piece and you're going to go ahead and keep the middle piece. But ultimately, you're going to be trying to take over the entire tower, all 3 pieces, by trying to roll 4 ones on each of your turns. So with the Even More Wicked expansion, you're going to be receiving this board along with these tiles and these little tokens that are going to represent each of the monsters. And you're going to just go ahead and start them at the bottom over here. Now as you're rolling the die, what you're going to be looking for is 2 types of 3 of a kind. You're either looking for 3 1s or 3 2s. If you roll 3 1s and keep them, you're going to go ahead and take your counter and move it 2 spaces. If you roll 3 2s, you're going to move it 1 space. Now, once you are able to get your character on or past a certain number, like this one would be 3, you're going to go ahead and look through these tokens and then keep one. This one says at the start of your turn, gain 1 heart. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this in front of you, and then this is going to be a permanent effect. And as you continue to move forward, you're going to go ahead and continue to take tiles, and this is just going to be ways you can add different effects to your character. So Kings of Tokyo is a game I've played for a while, and I've always enjoyed this game. The game is really about a balance between health and about trying to get victory points. You can get victory points if you are in Tokyo or if you are in New York, but you're going to be susceptible to a barrage of hits, and you're not going to be able to heal yourself unless you get a card. Now, I love the cards in the game. The cards really add a lot of gameplay to them. There's so many different types of cards. There's cards where you can save cubes and then use them to activate an ability. A lot of different cards. So with the Origins version of the game, this is a gateway version. It only has 4 players. It's a smaller version of the game, and it works well. I mean, if you wanted to introduce people to Kings of Tokyo, this is a great way to do it. Also, if you're not needing a 6-player version of the game and you're just looking for something smaller and more affordable, it works well. Now the monster box, love the monster box. You're going to get a whole bunch of monsters. You're going to get some expansions in there. You're going to get the dice tray, which I really like. And the instructions also comes with some variants that you can play. All the monsters look good. The cards are really good. Now the different expansions, they all work a little bit differently, but ultimately what they do is they add to the gameplay. If you're using the evolution cards, for example, you're going to be trying to get hearts, which you can still use to help heal yourself. But if you get a certain amount of them, you'll be able to draw some and then pick one. So what these cards basically are going to be, they're just going to be abilities that you can use. But the unique thing is if you get the particular one where you can gift it to somebody else, that's going to be a permanent on them. I like the evolution card. Everybody has their own individual cards too, which I like. The Berzerk mode is a cool little feature too. Of course, you're going to have to roll 4 attacks in order to get the Berzerk die. Now, the unique thing with that is depending on which version you're playing, you could lose a health if you end up rolling that one symbol. But you can get extra stuff with that die. You're going to end up losing it once you end up having to heal yourself. So that's a cool little variant as well. The Halloween version, this is essentially going to be more abilities that you can use. The main thing with this is that you can actually buy your opponent's card if you're able to roll 3 of the attacks. So you can steal it and you can have as many of these as you want. Now the thing with the buildings, you're going to have the Tokyo building and then the Empire State building, and you're going to have to roll 4 ones in order to get these. Now this really is almost kind of like an all or nothing variant of the game. So if you're like behind, you can try to see if you can roll those 4 ones and then try to get the buildings. But the thing is as you're trying to use these dice, you're going to have to sacrifice some stuff. So like if you're trying to get a building and you need 4 ones, you're not going to be able to get any hearts, you're not going to be able to really get any hits or those types of things. So essentially you have to put your focus on trying to get those buildings if you want to get them. The Fate die expansion, it's going to essentially give everybody a condition on the card that they're going to have to follow, and then as you're rolling the die, it's going to offer you a couple of choices as to what you can do depending on what you roll. Having those conditions out there, I've noticed, can make the game longer, and that's not a bad thing. I like the Fate die. I like the way you can just kind of pick and choose what you want to do. And then the Wicked expansion, this is another way that you can get abilities. It just uses tokens that you're moving along a board, and once you get up to a certain number, you can go ahead and pick one of those abilities and then put it in front of you. And again, you're going to have to roll either a 3 of a kind of 1s or 3 of a kind of 2s. So this game really is about balance. I think it does a great job with the balance, and all the expansions, they add some different elements to the game, but they also keep with that balance theme, because again, you're having to figure out what you want to use on your dice, if you want to buy cards, if you want to go to Toko. And all the expansions I think work well. It really just kind of depends on what you're looking for. The buildings will offer you all or nothing. The Fate die will add a condition to the game, and then it will also give you some options as to what you want to do when you roll it. The Berzerk die, that's going to basically be a power die that's going to basically help you, but as soon as you heal yourself, you're going to lose it. And the Halloween cards, the evolution cards, and then the Wicked expansions, these are all different ways that you can get abilities and powers for yourself, just in different ways. All in all, I really like Kings of Tokyo. I love the Monster Box expansion. I would highly recommend it to anybody. The expansions I like too. To me, they add to the game. It doesn't significantly change the game. I would recommend getting those expansions too if you're looking for a different experience with them. Okay guys, that's my review of Kings of Tokyo. We'll see you. Keep on gaming.